Behind me, they cut down dead chestnut trees because of the chestnut blight and made lots of log benches. And they built these buildings down here for the dedication ceremony, including the speaker stand, which we're right about there. And next picture. 5,000 people showed up for the dedication ceremony, and there's Franklin Delano Roosevelt in his motorcade coming down the road that they temporarily built right on down through here so that he could have his dedication ceremony. They'd already taken care of some really terrible things down here. This was a wetland, so they filled it in. Here he is facing the visitor center, but the visitor center is not there yet, giving his speech, hanging onto the podium with his hands. FDR had polio. He was really wheelchair bound, but he didn't want the public to think that was a weakness, so he almost never allowed a photograph of him in the wheelchair. It just didn't happen. If you were a press photographer and you aimed that at his chair, you just lost your credentials. So we got the boys down here doing all kinds of wonderful things all that time period, and rich people, just like today, rich people have influence. And there were still rich people during the Great Depression. And there were some rich people who had formed a glider club, Glider Club of America, and they would build gliders and have them towed till the wings caught the air and then go fly and see how far they could soar. And one of those rich people came down here and looked at that hill right over there. And he said, look at how that gentle slope to the right, and he's right at the Shenandoah Valley. What a perfect glider field. There's a bunch of rocks up there. I looked. Could you have the CCC boys remove those rocks? So they did. They pulled those rocks out and they piled them in a pile right down there in a wetland area. Filled in that wetland. Wetlands were bad then. Now we know wetlands are good. But some good came of it. Underneath those rocks is the habitat of a rare animal that lives in this meadow, nowhere else in Virginia, called the smooth green snake. We have snakes out here, and by the way, you hardly ever see them because they feel the vibration of your feet as you're walking the trail and they move into the brush. And the venomous snakes that we have in the park, the copperhead and the timber rattler, would never be out here. This is not their habitat. So you can feel reasonably safe about that. What you shouldn't feel safe about is the ticks. They're here. Check yourself for ticks when you get home. So here's the gliders up there in that glider field. Who did all the work? CCC. All right, boys, I know you don't have much money, but you have enough to have a model glider club. So they had a model glider club. December 7th, 1941, bam, all of a sudden we're in the Second World War. We were trying to stay out of it. This country mobilized more than it has in any other war we've been involved in. In the Second World War, everyone joined the war effort, one way or another. So, you were given enough rations for gasoline to be able to get to the store and get your groceries. That was it. You couldn't drive to a national park, so the national park's closed. What do you do with this wonderful land? You send the army up here. Build an army camp in this meadow, in the winter, in tents, because that's the war. You're not going to have barracks over there in the war front. And they trained the Corps of Engineers Replacement Unit. War was so bad on engineering crew, because they were out there in the front making the way clear for the army. Either making roads, building bridges, blowing up bridges, to keep the enemy from coming across, all those things, and they had a lot of casualties. So this was actually called a replacement unit. They came up here, they had 4 weeks of basic training, 2 weeks of specialized training, and off they went to Europe. Wow.